Welcome to today's Explainer. Have you ever found yourself completely exhausted, winning every single tiny argument at work, but somehow your team is still totally missing its ultimate goals? It's a super frustrating cycle, isn't it? Well, today we're going to break that cycle for good. We are unpacking the exact strategies and mental frameworks you need to become what we call an ever-victorious leader. We're going to master the art of the big picture strategy, so it's time to move beyond the daily grind of those stressful little skirmishes and figure out how to secure absolute long-term success for your entire organization.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with number 1, the ever-victorious mindset, and then move to the age 30 turning point. After that, we'll cover transitioning from individual to leader, lessons from historical legends, the concentration of military force, and finally, winning within your capabilities.
To get to the bottom of this, we're drawing directly from Chapter 4 of our source text, which was originally published way back on May 1, 2002. This material specifically outlines the precise strategies and, honestly, the mental attitudes required to truly thrive as an organizational leader. It's not just some abstract theory. It is a literal instruction manual for consistent, lasting victory.
All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the ever-victorious mindset, seeing the big picture.
So, the whole foundation of being a successful leader rests on this one brilliant concept called Taikyo-kan. Basically, this translates to having a big picture perspective. Let me ask you this. Are you losing the overall war just because you're way too obsessed with winning every single tiny battle along the way? You know, it is incredibly easy for us as leaders to get completely bogged down by the daily stress of just everyday work. You want to win every client interaction, every internal debate, every minor project milestone. But Taikyo-kan demands that you elevate your view. You have to see the whole board. It's the wisdom to consciously accept a local, short-term loss if it positions you to secure the ultimate overall victory. Seriously, you have to stop sweating the small defeats if they're actually part of a winning grand strategy.
That brings us right to Section 2, the age 30 turning point, hitting the wall.
In almost every professional's life, there's a hard, unavoidable wall they hit, and it almost always happens right around the age of 30. This is absolutely the first critical turning point in your career. See, up until this age, you can usually get by and maybe even totally excel just on sheer individual effort, raw talent, and personal stamina. But at 30, the rules of the game fundamentally change. The workload scales up, the complexities multiply, and suddenly, fighting all by yourself isn't just inefficient, it is a guaranteed recipe for total burnout. Your personal strength alone simply isn't going to cut it anymore.
Which naturally leads us to Section 3, from individual to leader, the paradigm shift. The contrast we're looking at here brilliantly illustrates the exact psychological leap you have to make. The pre-30 mindset, that's your lone wolf approach. It's relying entirely on your own skills and literally trying to carry the entire project on your back. The post-30 mindset, however, is where true leadership actually begins. It is the major shift toward recognizing the unique talents of the people around you and mastering the ability to empower and utilize them effectively. Actually, scratch that. It's more like going from being the star MVP player to becoming the head coach. If you can't make this shift from individual hustle to team leverage, you are never going to become an ever-victorious leader. Seeing the English and Japanese covers of our source material, The Laws of Hope, really reinforces a vital point. This transition isn't just some local business trend or cultural quirk. Moving from individual effort to collective team leadership is a universal law of long-term success. It's a fundamental truth of human organization that transcends language, borders, and culture. Okay, moving on to Section 4, Lessons from Historical Legends, Masters of Strategy.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer caliber of the historical figures the text draws upon. We are talking about legendary tacticians here. The great unifier of Japan, Oda Nobunaga, the absolute genius strategist of the Three Kingdoms era, Zhuge Liang, often known as Kong Ming, and the brilliant naval commander, Togohei Hachiro. These leaders operated in incredibly high-stakes, literal life-or-death environments. And yet, the core reason they are remembered as legends today isn't because they ran out and fought every single enemy soldier themselves. No way. It's because they perfectly executed big-picture leadership and organizational strategy to completely outmaneuver their opponents.
Let's look at how they did it in Section 5, Concentration of Military Force, the Orthodox Tactic. Those historical legends we just mentioned, they consistently used a very specific orthodox approach known as seikoho. I really want to walk you through this crucial process because, trust me, it is just as applicable in a modern boardroom as it was on an ancient battlefield. Step 1. You must evaluate the entire situation using that Taikyo-kukan, big picture perspective we talked about earlier. Step 2. Out of the massive, chaotic landscape of problems and opportunities, you have to identify a singular, critical focal point, just one. And step 3, you shift and ruthlessly concentrate all your available resources, your time, and your team's talent onto that one specific point. It's like using a magnifying glass to focus sunlight. That is how you create massive breakthroughs. If you spread your resources too thin trying to win everywhere all at once, you literally guarantee a weak impact across the board. Concentration is the absolute key here.
Finally, we reach our last stop, Section 6, Winning Within Your Capabilities, the surefire method.
So, the crucial point is this: an ever-victorious leader does not gamble with their organization's survival. True victory, as outlined in the text, means fighting within the bounds of your actual strength to ensure a reliable, guaranteed win. It is all about knowing exactly what you and your team are actually capable of, and then applying that concentrated force where you have a clear, undeniable advantage. Leaders who overextend themselves, usually fueled by ego or a total lack of big-picture perspective, eventually face catastrophic defeat. The surefire method is to secure a steady, continuous string of victories by operating masterfully within the realm of your true capabilities.
As we wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this final, really important thought. Are you still trying to win every small battle all by yourself, acting as the lone wolf, burning yourself out on all these little local skirmishes? Or are you finally ready to master the big picture, recognize the incredible talents of the people around you, and concentrate your forces to lead your team to ultimate, lasting victory? The transition is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me, and I challenge you to start applying these principles to your own leadership strategy today.